is only boxing purists understand the Lineal Championship.
The Lineal Heavyweight Champion is recognized by fans as the one true champion. The man who beat the man.
Hi, I'm Mike Tyson, heavyweight champ of the world. Let's talk boxing.
A clear line of succession from one great champion to the next.
He knocked the stuffing out of the headgear. I mean, this guy could really hit.
From the first true champion to today's current reigning Lineal Champion.
That belt goes right back to John L. Sullivan, and only true champions have earned the right to call themselves the Lineal Champion.
John Sullivan became the first recognized Lineal Champion in the world. James Corbett would eventually take the title from Sullivan. Then, in one of the very first sports events ever filmed, James Corbett defended his crown against Bob Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons won the fight with a body shot.
Any man that ever met Fitzsimmons, when he got through with the fight, he knew that he was really in a fight. I think without a doubt that Fitzsimmons was one of the greatest fighters that ever lived.
James Jeffries was next up. Then Marvin Hart, who quickly lost to Tommy Burns.
And now Tommy Burns senses that the end could be near. Again, surely this fight has got to be over any second. Burns reins in another big right hand. He doesn't know where he is, and the corner men have got in. They want it all over. They've stopped it. They've said enough.
Burns would defend his title 11 times. During this time, Jack Johnson hounded Burns everywhere he went. Eventually, Burns gave in and gave Jack Johnson a title shot.
December 26, 1908, Rush Cutter's Bay at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Police shut down the cameras in this fight when it looked like Johnson was going to win.
Just seconds before the police stopped the motion picture cameras and entered the ring to halt this very one-sided fight. Jack Johnson becomes heavyweight champion of the world.
But white America found Johnson offensive.
Johnson had been despised by white America.
He was loud and arrogant, and even dared to have affairs with white women.
Because of this, black boxers were frozen out of title shots for 29 years.
Here are Johnson and Willard being introduced in Havana 1 week before the fight.
Imagine being a black man as a boxer back when they all wanted white men to be the champ, you know.
That's where the Great White Hope kind of probably originated. They were trying to beat him.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's exactly where it came from.
Yeah.
Jess Willard took the title from Johnson in the 26th round.
Suddenly, Jess lashes out with a ponderous right. Johnson goes down. Referee Jack Welch counts, but the champion doesn't move. The partisan crowd goes wild.
Jack Dempsey was next in line.
Because of that style, it was rugged, it was power, it was toughness.
Became the first $1 million fighter. Aggressive, really savage mentality. So people loved that at different times.
In this most unusual of fights, an idol has been born. Dempsey the Mauler. Unusual every second of it.
Dempsey defended 5 times.
The fight is over. Gene Tunney overwhelmingly the winner. But the long count gives sporting buffs something to discuss whenever they get together.
Gene Tunney won on points and took the crown. Tunney retired. Max Schmeling took on Jack Sharkey for the vacant crown next.
Schmeling was a hell of a fighter.
Sharkey will land a powerful left, which is obviously an accidental low blow.
This punch got Sharkey DQ'd.
Schmeling goes down from the punch, and he starts to signal to his corner that the punch was foul.
As we saw earlier, Max Schmeling had won the heavyweight title on a disputed low blow by Jack Sharkey.
The referee does not start a count, and Schmeling's seconds rush into the ring and half carry and half drag Max to his corner,
making Max Schmeling the first man to win the belt by getting punched in the nuts. The rematch saw Sharkey take the title.
Winner and new champion, Jack Sharkey.
A year later, however, Sharkey would lose the crown to Primo Carnero of Italy.
This is Primo Carnera. He was a 6'7", 270-pound champion.
He goes with a straight left. Down on the count. He's being counted out, and that's all. Primo Carnera wins it.
Shaft died 5 days later.
The Giant's reign was short as he ran into the devastating power puncher, Max Baer.
Oh, good right hand from Baer. And he's gone. Carnera's all over the place again. It was the first right hand which did the damage. Referee Arthur Donovan holding Baer back.
The winner, new champion, Max Baer!
Baer didn't hold the crown long either, running into the most improbable champion on the list, James Braddock, the Cinderella Man.
The main bouts. 15 rounds for the heavyweight championship of the world. The winner and new heavyweight champion.
Braddock then gave a shot to Joe Louis, the first black fighter to contend for a title since Jack Johnson.
Braddock's manager basically made Louis agree to give him a percentage of his purses for the rest of his career to get the fight.
What?
Yeah, but there was an understanding that, you're not getting a fight otherwise.
And now, here in Chicago, the heavyweight boxing title is at stake. Will Joe Louis walk out of the ring as heavyweight champion of the world? We'll soon know.
There were history of black families, poor black families that would get hope from just saying, hey, Louis did it. I don't want to hear that you can't do this. Joe Louis did it.
A challenger from Detroit, Joe Louis.
And so he was that important. That's the only point I'm making here. He was that freaking important that what they did, what they overcame, where they came from. When you talk about all the things that we're here to talk about character, about talent, about perseverance, about resiliency, about caring about more than yourself, about strength. When you talk about all those things that we try to say that we care about, he was all that. He was all of that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
The Brown Bomber had captured the heavyweight title. He was champion at last.
A living legend, the heavyweight champion of the world, from Detroit, Michigan, the immortal Joe Louis.
Louis would defend the title for a record 25 times before retiring.
Winner by unanimous decision and heavyweight champion of the world, Ezra Charles.
At this point, Ezzard Charles took the mantle. Charles would be dropped by Jersey Joe Walcott. Walcott was an all-time warrior, drenched in history and seasoned by fire.
The left hook to the jaw.
Walcott had proclaimed Marciano a hype job.
Walcott said before this fight, if I can't beat this bum, take my name off the record books. I guess he can punch a bit, but he can't box. I've never seen anyone easier to hit.
September 1952, Philadelphia. Experts rate the Walcott fight as one of the most exciting bouts in ring history.
15 rounds for the heavyweight championship of the world, weighing 184 pounds, the challenger, Rocky Marciano. Weighing 196 pounds, the heavyweight champion, Jersey Joe Walcott.
They call Rocky the boxing blockbuster, and some of the fight experts say he's another Jack Dempsey.
Jersey Joe dominated the early action, smashing Marciano with relentless combinations.
Rocky Marciano was one of the toughest men ever to fight.
Many fighters fold when they're first tested, when they're cut and dropped. Rocky grew tougher.
But he was one tough guy. He was 189 pounds.
It was the first knockdown of Rocky's career.
Marciano is now cut on the floor.
The way he came back and the way he fought people.
First time that Marciano ever had been put on the canvas, took a 5 and came up, and from that time on, they have fought steadily and hard.
But he liked it. He went beyond courage, and he truly liked it. He liked the sport. He liked getting hit, and he liked hitting.
Absorbing Walcott's best shots, eating punches that ended other fighters.
The consensus at this point was Rocky's got to knock him out to win. All the officials voted for Walcott this round.
Twisted Walcott's face into pudding.
Relentless attack.
And now we're in round 13. At this stage, Jersey Joe Walcott is leading on all 3 scorecards, 7 rounds to 5. Rocky Marciano has to knock out Jersey Joe Walcott to win this fight, and his corner has told him so.
And he had a punch from hell called the Susie Q with his right hand.
One destructive blow changed the course of heavyweight history.
Rocky feigned a left, then delivered a sledgehammer right. The Susie Q.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and out! New heavyweight champion of the world, Rocky Marciano.
Rocky Marciano has come from almost certain defeat to knock out Joe Walcott.
And the new heavyweight champion of the world, Rocky Marciano.
When it ended, fight fans had witnessed one of the greatest slugfests in history.
Rocky held the title until he retired, undefeated, setting up a bout for the vacant title between Floyd Patterson and Archie Moore.
A terrific left hook drops Moore. What a shot!
Floyd was a young prodigy.
It's all over. There's your new champ. Did this guy grow up?
American fans get their first look at Johansson, 26-year-old European champion.
Patterson would lose to Johansson.
And the champion is down. The referee, Ruby Goldstein, stops it.
Before quickly winning a rematch. Trained by the great Customato, the adopted father of Mike Tyson.
Boom, perfect timing.
There was a lot of concern about Liston fighting for the title and getting the title.
They claim he's affiliated with gangsters and even worse. Others claim definitely that Sonny Liston is not entitled to this championship bout.
He's not who we would want to represent us. He's not the kind of image that we want. You know, this guy's he's been in prison. He's illiterate.
Comiskey Park, Chicago.
It was September 25, 1962 at Comiskey Park, Chicago.
The site of the most lucrative fight in the history of boxing.
Floyd insisted Sonny only get 12.5% of the gross.
The crowd booed Liston. No one wanted him to be the champion.
The challenger, favorite of the odds makers, enters the ring. Sonny Liston, winner of 33 of 34 fights, 23 of them by knockout. The most formidable challenger the champion has ever met.
Liston didn't care if Patterson was the fan favorite. This was Sonny's moment. After tonight, they'd have no choice but to embrace him.
Pennsylvania, Sonny Liston.
And you describe him in ways that sound like he was almost animalistic in the way that Mike Tyson was described early in his career.
The champion is restless in his corner, the challenger placid. Sonny Liston moves out to face the big chance of his turbulent life.
Liston used his reach to bully Patterson.
The Liston hook to the head is the first good punch of the fight.
One of the most devastating performances we've seen in the heavyweight title.
Drubbing Patterson with thudding combinations.
And Liston gets to him against the rope with lefts and rights. Ties him up, won't let him get away.
From King of the Streets to King of the World.
Patterson was a sitting duck.
Patterson was out.
Solid left to the cheekbone, dropped the champion.
The time, 2 minutes and 11 seconds. The first round, Sonny Liston had become the heavyweight champion of the world.
I mean, he had everything.
Around Sonny Liston, the 21st heavyweight champion of the world, jubilation.
Charles Sonny Liston had captured what was then known as the greatest prize in all of sport.
Charles Sonny Liston became heavyweight champion of the world on the night of September 25th, 1962, in a fight that lasted only 2 minutes and 6 seconds. His ring record ranks with the best.
I'm handsome, I'm fast, I'm pretty, and can't possibly be beat.
He was a 22-year-old by the name of Cassius Clay.
Liston, almost the first time he hits him. Could be 1, perhaps 2. I'll take 1.
After holding the title for 2 years, Liston would face young Cassius Clay, who would change his name to Muhammad Ali during the lead-up.
Cassius Clay decided to announce that morning he had joined the black Muslim religion, an unpopular militant group.
Ali got into Liston's head like no other.
Now we'll see the craziest weigh-in in all boxing history.
You don't want to make Sonny mad. Sonny's bad enough when he's not mad. And I agreed to that all the way up, and then he hit the door.
Clay said anybody would have to be afraid of a crazy man.
It was all part of young Clay's master plan.
Cassius was smart, and he was clever, and he could get under Liston's skin more so than anybody ever.
I saw Sonny Liston a few days ago, Cash. Ain't he ugly? He's too ugly to be the world champ. The world champ should be pretty like me. Well, he told me to bet my life that you wouldn't go 3 rounds. Well, if you want to lose your money, then bet on Sonny.
It had to be somebody who was whistling past the graveyard, somebody who had to be scared, who was trying to, keep his courage up before he was destroyed.
I felt that Sonny Liston was going in and squash this boastful, braggartly kid like an ant.
All set now. World heavyweight boxing title on the line.
Just the anticipation of my father thinking that Ali was going to get killed literally by Sonny Liston, because that is what people thought.
The real drama around this fight was whether this hysterical man-child was going to lose his nerve, whether he was going to show up.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Look at the guy yawning. Tell us what you think at the end of
The results of the 2 Ali Liston fights had far more to do with what took place outside of the ring than in it.
Cassius has him hurt. Sonny has a big mouth below his left eye. And he's getting hit with all the punches in the book.
6th round, when Liston went back to his corner, Liston was a beaten man.
What do you think is going on in Sonny's mind at this point?
Well, I think that they feel now that Clay have all the confidence he needs and go on to defeat Sonny.
Cassius Clay, he's got peripheral vision, sharp, he's looking over my shoulder, he got up, we win.
Sonny Liston, Sonny out! Sonny Liston is not out! He's out! The winner and the new heavyweight champion of the world is Cassius Clay. Life's ongoing.
And in 1964, he became heavyweight champion of the world, upsetting Sonny Liston, the 7-1 favorite.
Electrified, and there he was right in front of me and a whole bunch of other newspaper men pointing down to us like this. I told you exactly what I was going to do.
And nobody, even the big sports writers, they were in awe
over what he had done.
So great, I don't have a mark on my face, and I upset Sonny Liston, and I just turned 22 years old. I must be the greatest. I'm the king of the world.
Hold it.
I'm pretty.
Hold it, you're not that pretty.
I'm a bad man. I shook up the world. I shook up the world.
Ali defended 9 times before being suspended for his Vietnam abstention, at which point Smokin' Joe Frazier seized the crown.
Frazier is strong. There are, as you can see, just seconds left. Frazier again with the left. Ellis standing there. Oh! A tremendous left hook, and he cannot be saved by the bell. He cannot be saved by the bell. This fight may be over. This fight is over. It is over. A knockout in the 4th round under New York State.
After 4 defenses, Frazier ran into Big George Foreman.
Initial wisdom heading into the Frazier fight was that George was a raw sort of rookie without the depth or the background to beat a great fighter like Joe Frazier.
Scoring 34 knockouts. He's 6'4" and has a reach of 78.5 inches. George Foreman, the challenger.
Because Joe Frazier had beaten Muhammad Ali and was undefeated, they didn't see how this young kid could win.
He was undefeated and was coming off the Ali win, and he was a 3.5 to 1 favorite.
I must break you.
Frazier went down.
And then he's got these hands that are literally like canned hams.
Yep.
And he just...
George was powerful. There's no doubt about that. I mean, he was out there to get me.
His power seemed to be a weapon unlike any the sport had seen. Even the greatest of boxers could not stand up to him.
It was absolutely devastating. No one could believe it. And from that point on, George was regarded as invincible.
People dropping death charges on me, man. I couldn't survive it.
Foreman demolished the great Joe Frazier, knocking him down 6 times.
You've been known as the hardest puncher ever.
Frazier has never taken this kind of punishment.
All I had was this one punch. And if I could hit you with I would hit you with it. I could take you out. If I missed you, you'd win on decision.
It's target practice for George Foreman.
And remember how he knocked Joe Frazier upside his head when Joe Frazier literally tried to run away from him?
The winner is George Foreman.
You're to be heavyweight champion of the world. As soon as it happens to you, it's like John L. Sullivan, Braddock, all the Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano, Mohammed. It's like they all just pour right into you, and you feel at that moment, you feel I am the heavyweight champion of the world.
Muhammad Ali re-entered the picture and challenged Big George.
I'll prove to the world that I'm still the fastest, the prettiest, the most classist, the most scientific, the greatest fighter of all time.
Everybody was scared, but Muhammad Ali himself.
And Ali is getting the people to chant Ali Boumaier. That means Ali Gillen.
Have you fought many guys who were talkers in their ring?
No, I never get a chance to talk much. By the time you get to know a fella, it's all over.
As for the fight itself, discussion centered not on who would win, but on how much punishment Foreman would dish out.
The time may have come to say goodbye to Muhammad Ali.
And now we understand that George Foreman is about to make his way to the ring.
Because very honestly, I don't think he can beat George Foreman.
Cosell was convinced that Ali is washed up.
This guy was the closest thing to a human monster I'd ever seen before. He was certainly the scariest boxer.
Look at this now as they stare. Muhammad Ali beginning to talk to George Foreman. They're really putting the stare on each other.
I looked him in the eye to stare him down and said,
Oh, George, you were in school when I was beating Sonny Liston.
Gone in the past 4 years beyond 2 rounds in any fight. Oh, a pass thrown by George Foreman.
He knew that the one weakness in this monster, who was thought of as unbeatable, was his stamina.
The first round, all of us yelled out, "Get off the ropes." And he would just say, "Shut up, I know how to do it."
Well, I would say that the round was very even, of course, I'd say.
And Ali totally got into the guy's head, and he didn't even realize it.
It was Muhammad Ali's fertile mind that created the rope.
Here we go, round number 2 to determine Ali. Get off his stool in between rounds. George Foreman sat down all the way. Ali leans on the rope. Good vicinity of starting it.
Starting second or third round, when he went to the ropes, he was calling Foreman all kinds of names. Any name of ugliness you can think of.
Sharp, definitely serious. Tremendous combination.
He fought just like your initial bump, just lay on the rope and take it with him. This time he did it with character. He said, "I'm going to weather the storm."
The rope-a-dope was something that was invented by Muhammad Ali that night.
I must say, I don't understand those tactics, Joe, staying on the ropes and letting him hit.
It just shows you the power of intellect and intelligence and how that can compete against anything.
And believe me, I was a big, powerful giant in the ring with Muhammad. I mean, a knockout artist. He stood up to me.
Foreman setting him up against the rope. What a... Look at him, straight in the ear of Foreman.
George Foreman, so young, so strong.
Not supposed to do, leaning up against the rope. 4 punches downstairs on Ali.
So fearless.
I had him beat. I really did. And really thought I had him beat up in the body, had him tired.
Continues to talk,
Against George Foreman, he does away with his opponents, one after another, in less than 3 rounds.
George not going that type of distance a long time. He was treading in water, never been in before.
This is the furthest that George Foreman has gone in a fight since 1972. Misses the right hand. Ali is definitely confusing him.
Missing the shots that he missed, it drained him.
Look at Foreman's face. He does look tired.
Nobody knew the strength of Muhammad Ali. He was manhandling him, just like Archie said, grabbing him, and he emptied the guy's tank.
I was afraid he was going to get killed by a George Foreman that many of our young viewers don't know.
Boom, perfect timing.
I thought he was hurt. I thought his body was hurt. He came back. He hit Foreman with everything, and he winked at me.
Oh, yes, there's no doubt about it. He went right over here to this corner.
You know, the guy really was the people's choice, and he was the people's choice because he loved them.
Yes, I'd hate to predict any fight, but my goodness, those people who said Foreman would win in a flash have certainly been proved wrong.
And about the 7th round, he asked me, "That all you got, George?" That was like a nightmare.
After a while, even the dumbest of us looked up there and said, "You know what? He's winning."
Greatest of all time.
Ali has done it. The great man has done it.
He was, in fact, the greatest heavyweight who ever lived.
I am the greatest.
Leon Spinks snatched the crown for a second.
They knew.
Before Ali won it back for a record 3rd time.
The allure, the lights.
I would think that Muhammad Ali will have won back the heavyweight championship for the 3rd time. 11 years older than Spinks.
With Muhammad Ali, retirement was a dirty word.
Muhammad Ali now in the ring, awaiting the arrival of Larry Holmes.
And he was really suffering from Parkinson's already. He was already, really? Yeah, I was already kicked in.
Evidence of some speech problems. It was a fight Ali never should have taken.
Larry Holmes teeing off on him. Ali gets to his feet ever so slow for the 10th round.
He was a shell of himself as a boxer at that particular moment in time, and it actually broke Larry Holmes' heart.
Yeah, it was like hitting a slow-moving heavy bag.
Game's over. I'm the chief second. All right. I stopped the fight. All right.
Holmes defended 12 times before losing to Michael Spinks.
So, I'm in the dressing room with Tyson, and I'm looking to rattle this guy.
The manager of Michael Spinks, who went wild after he discovered that Mike Tyson had his hands taped.
Spinks' manager got cute before the fight and forced Tyson to rewrap his hands to try and throw him off. Tyson began putting his fists through walls in anger.
And he's punching. He's punching holes in the wall.
The sound prompted Spinks to investigate.
Oh, no. This guy's getting ready to fight my guy, my little guy.
The undefeated man who brings the drinks, Michael Spinks.
As always, no shirt, no robe, no accoutrement.
The life that he lived back then was unmanageable. He was the king of the world. He was in his 20s. He was buck wild, just going crazy, flatlining people. Everywhere he went, people throw rose petals at his feet and screaming, cheering fans.
A record of 34-0, and that doesn't count his recent bouts with his wife and his manager.
That night, Tyson was as good as any fighter has ever been when they got in that ring.
There's something where you attain its heights and you just don't do it again. But that night he reached his peak. It was the most awesome heavyweight fight I ever saw in my life.
Uppercut landed inside and Spinks went down.
That night, Tyson was as good as any heavyweight has ever been.
He's not going to make it. It's all over.
Mike, when he won that title, he had all the titles, and he was married to Robin Gibbons, and things started to happen, and everything went south.
I dared him challenge me with their somewhat primitive skills. They're just as good as dead.
Mike Tyson is the most famous athlete in the world. Fame has even followed Tyson across the sea to Japan.
Tyson's in Japan to defend his heavyweight boxing title against James Buster Douglas.
Rumors swirled about Tyson skipping gym time.
After my divorce from Robin, I lost a lot of desire in my fighting and stuff. Matter of fact, I was training and my sparring partners dropped me.
Before the fight, rumors had swirled about Tyson's mental and physical state. He'd been knocked down and sparred.
I had a few fights. With lesser opponents, and I was successful without training hard at all, basically for the fight. And so I didn't take Buster seriously.
There was no longer any voice in his life that would dare speak against him.
So I went to Japan, hanging out with a lot of women, had women in my room.
Bobby Brown said that Mike Tyson and I were in Japan. We basically stayed up all night partying with 12 Japanese girls. I kept telling Mike, you need to go to sleep and get some
lying.
sleep.
Stop lying, Bobby. Come
He said you need to get some sleep
right.
for the fight tomorrow. He said, then you told Bobby, listen, I'm not no amateur. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I did tell you that.
Right, nobody could beat me. I got this. I go to bed whenever I gotta go to
bed. By this time, Tyson was alone. No wife, no family, no real friends.
Well, in the important game of expectations, this fight is over before it begins or soon thereafter.
It's a tragic story, but it's also like there's so many lessons in that story. It's like for all of us, it's like there's a lot to learn, you know, what happened when it got all the way to Buster Douglas, when it was like felt like you can't lose.
Please welcome
the challenger, James Buster Douglas.
Buster Douglas always had a tremendous amount of talent, but he never totally put it together. But then his mom died, and he decided he was going to f Mike Tyson up for his mother. So it was a perfect storm of Mike Tyson being king of the world, doesn't even feel like he has to train anymore, and all on the way, Buster Douglas for that fight trained like a demon.
He was 37-0 at that particular moment in time. He was fierce, he was menacing.
You begin to file through your memory for the biggest upset in heavyweight championship fight history.
Douglas insists that he's going to shock the world in this fight. If he should upset Mike Tyson, it would make the shocks in Eastern Europe seem like local ward politics.
Like when you're fighting at the real top level of a sport, you know, if you start missing training, start taking drugs, start sleeping around.
I don't think I've ever seen Tyson absorb that kind of a 4 or 5 punch combination.
His training team was so inept, they had forgotten one of the most standard pieces of equipment, an end swell.
And he has swelled up Mike Tyson's eye and is dominating the fight right now. And of course that infamous corner treatment that he got in Tokyo, Tyson.
Because you knocked him down, I think, in the 8th round, and he got like a very long count.
The referee gave him extra couple seconds to recover that he shouldn't have.
And there's a right hand uppercut, and down goes Douglas.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're out. You're out, Buster. No, he's out.
And the bell ends to save Buster Douglas at the end of round 8.
I believe he will be the youngest heavyweight champion of all time. And if he remains dedicated, interested, and without any distractions, I believe that he will go down in history as the greatest heavyweight champion.
What I took from it is that it was the beginning of the end of Mike Tyson, the Mike Tyson that we knew.
It's over. It's over.
Mike Tyson has been knocked out.
The aura of invincibility was gone. Tyson's demons had finally caught up to him.
Does it seem like a dream?
Yeah, pretty much like a blur.
And suddenly, Mike Tyson, perceived as this giant monolith, has been reduced to being another heavyweight champion who got defeated.
You have seen a piece of sporting history, the like of which there has perhaps never been in a boxing ring before. Mike Tyson's reign is over. I can't believe
The
it.
defeat sent shockwaves around the world.
James Buster Douglas is the undisputed heavyweight champion.
Buster Douglas immediately turned around and fought Evander Holyfield. A brilliant counter right put Douglas down for the count.
What a shot by Evander Holyfield! There's a new heavyweight champion of the world, and his name is Evander Holyfield!
Undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Evander, real deal, Holyfield.
He chose to fight the best young American heavyweight, Olympic silver medalist Riddick Bowe.
Next up, Riddick Bowe.
One of the wonderful things about Evander for spectators is that he is no great defensive fighter. He does get hit. So for that matter does Bowe.
Good left hook to the body by Evander Holyfield.
And the left hook to the jaw. And Holyfield is quicker to the punch early in the fight.
A fantastic back and forth.
And you saw Holyfield land the right-hand lead. The right-hand lead is a big punch in his arsenal tonight. He believes the way to neutralize Bowe's overwhelming right hand is to beat him to the punch with. And already Bowe begins to hold and hit, and they brawl in the center of the ring.
Saw Bowe conquer Holyfield by decision.
There's the uppercut again. The mouthpiece is out of Holyfield.
New heavyweight champion of the world,
equally savage rematch.
A memorable fight. One thing I got to tell you that's a pleasure for me about this, as Bowe cuts Holyfield with 2 overhand rights to start the fight.
Infamously, a man parachuted into the ring mid-fight.
Someone is
And somebody in a parachute has just landed on the edge of the ring, has been pulled away by security guards. The fight has been brought to
This craziness delayed the fight for 20 minutes.
The fight resumed in round 7.
You should stay away from the slugfest.
Another left-right combination by Evander. Right hand by Holyfield. Stops Bowe in his tracks.
Holyfield took the rematch and was champion again. Enter Michael Moore. Moore won a controversial decision over Holyfield and set up a Foreman title fight.
So, George, you've thrilled us. You've been great. You've inspired us. You've entertained us. But now, please, isn't it time to go back to the old fishing hole before you seriously get hurt?
A few days after Michael Moore beat Evander Holyfield, I got a call from George. And I said, George, you can't kid me. You want to fight Michael Moore. And he said more than anything else in the world.
When Michael Moore defeated Holyfield to become the new champion, George Foreman, at age 45, would get one final shot.
I knew what Teddy told me, like, he's a big con. And I just look at him like,
Go get me a sandwich and sit down.
man, you're so fake.
Featuring the clown king of the sport, the larger-than-life George Foreman.
Well, there are a lot of skeptics out there who think that George now is more King Khan than King Kong. But George hasn't earned this championship shot as a fighter. He hasn't fought in a year and a half, and on that inauspicious occasion, he lost to Tommy Morrison. With the fighter he's fighting, he's going to have to punch and try to club him and just keep beating him. But I don't think that's going to happen.
So you see no chance that George can win the fight?
Very little.
Very little.
Foreman looked to become the oldest heavyweight champion in boxing history. But despite the optimism of the crowd, few gave Foreman more than a puncher's chance.
Middle-aged men don't knock out 25-year-old heavyweight champions.
He would be the oldest to win the heavyweight title by a huge margin over Walcott, who was 37, when he beat Ezzard Charles.
I always thought if the George Foreman from the Rumble in the Jungle had the brain of the George Foreman who fought Michael Moore, that's the greatest fighter ever.
Let's get ready to rumble!
I'm the boss man in here. Take hands to lunch.
George, how are you going to find him?
The vibrations are against him, the planets are against him, but already he lost the first 5 rounds.
Michael Moore will go back to Teddy Atlas. Big George will lumber back slightly slower.
The hardest part of the fight is over. Now you know it's not make-believe anymore.
Teddy Atlas telling him
our sparring partners were better.
the hardest part of the fight is over. You know what he's made of. Our sparring partners were better. We're round 8. Foreman's trailing, losing, but not out of the fight.
That all you got, George?
As against Ali and Zaire, but it's revealing that he chose to wear the same trunks on this night that he had worn in the jungle 20 years before.
George Foreman in the shorts he wore that night in Zaire to Rumble in the Jungle when he lost his world heavyweight title.
I told you, I'm the champion of the world.
But he always saw the ghost of Muhammad Ali, and everybody has felt all along that you're always chasing the ghost of Ali. Does this make you catch that?
I'm the greatest. You don't have any business in the ring with me.
That's it! It's a short right hand! There is no way he's getting up from that!
Chasing the ghost of Ali. Does this make you catch that ghost?
Yeah, I've exercised the ghost once and forever.
Another controversial decision saw Shannon Briggs take the title from Foreman.
I'm not one for giving a fight to a guy that runs away. And certainly Shannon Briggs ran for 12 rounds from George Foreman. Judge took it to him. I think he deserves this fight.
Then came Lennox Lewis.
Oh, look at that right hand! That may be curtains for Shannon Briggs.
Lewis dismantled Briggs in 4 rounds.
Oh, he's got him! He's got him! He got careless and he's got him!
Lennox turned around and immediately won back the crown.
They're telling him not to counterpunch.
Will Rackman get up or have the tables been turned?
After retiring, the belts went to Vitaly Klitschko. Vitaly reigned for 11 defenses before retiring and passing the torch to his brother, Vladimir Klitschko. That brings us to the current reigning lineal heavyweight champion, Tyson Fury.
I said it straight to Vladimir. I said, you're looking at a king. I said, have you ever fought a king before? He said, no. I said, well, you're fighting one now. And he said, you're going to lose to one.
And he was known as the guy who would box and hold, jab and hold. I mean, he was one of the most boring heavyweights of all time.
Nothing personal but business. I have nothing personal.
Yeah, it's very personal for me, Vlad,
pure,
yeah? It's a
pure
personal
business.
mission for me to rid boxing of a boring person like you. Yeah? You're boring. I want to rid you out of the heavyweight division.
Tell me more how much you hate me. Tell me more.
I don't hate you.
You need to get under my skin.
I don't hate you.
Listen, make it personal.
Listen, you ask the question and I will answer.
Okay, please.
Listen, I'm interested in breaking your face in. That's what I'm interested in. All the boxing writers, newspaper writers, sports editors, no chance.
And you never had a doubt?
No, I just knew that he couldn't beat me.
Scheduled 12 in Dusseldorf for the heavyweight championship of the world.
When I was 14, I was watching Vladimir as a world heavyweight champion on TV, thinking I can beat that guy. I know I can beat that guy.
And Tyson Fury aiming for win number 25 and the big one, and he's turned southpaw.
Tyson Fury believed from talking to people that Klitschko could be broken.
Oh, good straight left hook by Fury.
He could be bullied. He could be with. You can get inside his head.
Klitschko holding on. Has he held up to his belt? Both of them raise their arms aloft. Klitschko feels he's done enough. Tyson Fury is up on the ring ropes, and he believes it's his destiny. What a display from Tyson Fury. Whatever the judges say, he belongs at this level, Carl. Tyson's asking us now at ringside. That's me, guys. Got it. HBO's got it as well.
All 3 scores to the winner by unanimous decision from the United Kingdom.
He's done it! There is a new era in heavyweight boxing. One of the biggest upsets in the last few years has happened here in Dusseldorf. He said he'd do it. It's unanimous on the cards. Tyson Fury won.
I've won it. I am the man who beat the man. But I always knew it and I always said it. So, not being big-headed, but I told you so.
Every moment spent with you is a moment I treasure forever and ever, and I don't want to close my eyes.
Serenaded her to the world. The Aerosmith song that was used on the film Armageddon, where they saved the world. And I saved the world from the boring era of Klitschko.
Nobody brings it home like
Joe Vincent.
nobody.
Make it so.